Hey everybody, just wanted to make a quick video on my fz09, the exhaust in particular. I don't have a lot of money these days, and I'm sure that a lot of people out there kind of feeling the same as me. But it doesn't stop you from wanting certain things, and I kind of wanted my bike to sound a little better. These CP3 engines just sound so good. So I happened to, I was running stock exhaust on this bike, but an aftermarket 1600, 1800 plus a tune like your 18 to 2000 for an exhaust system. But I found a factory exhaust somebody had taken off their bike for $50. So I cut the stock muffler off. Kept the catalytic converter. It's a little bit of a surgery to get the stock muffler off without damaging the catalytic converter, but it's not too bad. And so anyways, the catalytic converter starts here and obviously goes that way at a bit of an angle. So I use 3.5-inch exhaust pipe. Inside the factory muffler, there is some steel mesh, and in behind it is sound absorbing kind of a textile material. Probably not asbestos, because I don't think they use asbestos in anything anymore, but as I was handling it, I was kind of wondering. But when you use 3.5-inch exhaust pipe, it gives you about 1/4 of an inch all the way around your catalytic converter. Your catalytic converter's 3 inches diameter. So that sound deadening material, which is also no doubt high heat, kind of an insulation, it takes up that space really nicely. Kind of protects the catalytic converter from cold transfer. That thing glows red hot, and then you hit a rainstorm or a puddle, and I just worried about it getting abruptly cooled down and potentially wrecking. So that sound deadening material came in really handy. I should show you a picture of the muffler, because it was definitely a donor muffler. It got hacked to its and bits, but so 3.5-inch pipe. This here was a bit of a feat to create a taper from 2.25 up to 3.5. And then at the other end of the muffler, in behind this heat shield, I tapered it from 3.5 down to 2.5. Inside the stock muffler, that mesh that retains that sound absorbing material, I repurposed that. I cut it out and made more or less a cone, 3 inches at one end and about 2.5, I guess, at the other. And it's fit inside there, and not sure you can see a little bit. There's I have extreme high temperature insulation. It was actually from an oven, like your kitchen oven. But I'm sure there's lots of that kind of material. But it's just enough to take some of the pitchier tones, the undesirable tones out of the exhaust. But yeah, so anyways, just a quick look at it there. And I'm not done. I just it's close, but I might spend a little bit more time up in this area. But yeah, anyways, it sounds just as good as any aftermarket exhaust. This bike now sounds so good. I was absolutely blown away. It does take a little bit of time, like, fumbling my way along, trying to figure things out, making a few mistakes, recutting things a few times, because I just, cut it 3 times and it was still too short. But yeah, probably all said and done, if I decide to paint the portion that I built myself, I'd just use a flat black ultra high heat paint. By the time I do that, I might have 20 hours into it. 18 to 20 hours. So, if you value your time at $25 an hour on the weekend, like, what else are you doing, right? What is that? $500. And then materials, everything in welding wire, gas, the $50 exhaust system, $25 for the paint. I'm $125. So $625, if you want to include your time in that, over $2,000. I think in the end, this exhaust system is going to look pretty good. I want to do something that doesn't draw too much attention to it. Obviously, it's a pretty redneck setup. But something, if somebody's standing back 10 feet, they don't even notice it. When you fire it up and they say, wow, that exhaust sounds excellent. What is that? And you're like, well, you blush a little bit and it's homemade. I mean, it is what it is. You got to swallow your pride a little bit, but I'll put a link in the description to a video of it running outside from a distance. So, yeah, you kind of, but I mean, again, I took the video on a cell phone. Cell phones have noise canceling at a certain decibel, so you don't get the full effect of how loud this bike is. And it is loud, like, it is loud, but no louder than any of the performance race spec aftermarkets. I mean, you get an Akrapovic, their race line, or a Black Widow or whatever, like, just as loud as this thing. So yeah, it's not like a straight pipe. It's still, like I say, it's still running through the catalytic converter. I've got a bit of sound deadening material in there, and but yeah, I am very happy with how this bike sounds. Very happy. So anyways, hope that inspires somebody to maybe make a project. And yeah, check out the link in the description.